What's up everybody, Anthony from granddaddyHerps, and today's video is more for those people who are terrified of snakes and why you shouldn't be afraid of snakes. But overall in general, I will say you kind of should be afraid of snakes if you don't know what it is that is in front of you. But as far as like a pet snake, stuff like that, there's a lot of very docile snakes out there that make great pets. A couple examples are the corn snake, the ball python. Sometimes king snakes are pretty nice, pretty docile. You'll get a bad one every once in a while that are pretty aggressive. Even same with the corn snake. I had an aggressive corn snake back when I was younger. I had a garter snake that thought everything was food, but it was too small to actually do any harm. So I would say that's a good beginner snake. But basically I'm going to go over a couple things to kind of help you get over the fear. So basically this is my firefly ball python. So just a couple tips to when handling snakes is all snakes have body language, and it could tell you a lot about like what mood the snake is in. So something that's really common in snakes is what this female is doing right here. If you see how her head is in the shape of an S, you never want to approach a snake from the front when it's coiled like an S, because that's a strike position. I know her very well. She's not going to strike even if I go in front of her face. That's just because I know her. I've had her since a baby. I can read her body language. So I'm no expert or anything, but I've had a ball python since I was about 12 years old. So, and I've had a bunch of them. So I've had enough experience over the years to be able to know and read what I'm doing with these snakes. So she's tongue flicking. That's another sign of just curiosity. They also do that when they're scenting for food or just their surroundings. But if a snake is coiled, what you want to do is you want to either distract the snake with one hand, like, let me show you. You see how she's kind of looking at my hand? You distract them with one hand, while with the other hand you reach around the other side and you pick them up. That's how you're gonna handle a more aggressive snake. And then once you get them up, 9 times out of 10 the snake's gonna relax, because if you feed them in their tubs, a lot of the times they're gonna think that they're getting fed, especially if you have them on a schedule where a certain day of the week you always feed them. That's when you're gonna least likely want to handle your snake, because they're hungry, they're looking for food. So just keep an eye out for that. And as far as people thinking snakes are slimy, I don't know where the heck you got that from, but these snakes are not slimy. They're scaly, and they're not scaly like a fish. It's hard to explain, but it's just a dry, they're not bad at all, I promise. But there's definitely a lot of signs about snakes. I don't really have an aggressive snake to show you, but let me give you another snake to kind of show you kind of what you want to watch out for. So this guy hasn't eaten in a while. I would want to stay away from his face as much as possible. Today's feeding day, so there's a little bit of mouse poop in his tank. He didn't want to eat the mouse, so I'm gonna have to take that out here. I'm basically trying to give him rats, mice, whatever he'll eat. He's been off food for a while, but that's not anything to really panic. As you can see, he's not gonna bite me, because I know the snake's body language. Like, you will know when they're gonna strike at you when they're coiled in that S and their body is kind of like moving back and forth. They're kind of like a heartbeat. Like, that means that they're like on edge. They're gonna strike. So basically, snakes make very awesome pets. Don't be discouraged by what you see in TV. A lot of times the animals that you see are aggressive species, venomous and whatnot. So that's where snakes get a bad name. But as you can see, the snake is very gentle. You know what I mean? It's not trying to bite me. So I hope I can, encourage a lot of people to start, handling snakes. I've had a couple friends that just were terrified of snakes until they saw me handling them. They got the courage to be able to hold it, and now they love snakes. Now they want snakes. So, I had someone earlier ask me aren't you scared of snakes? And I said, no, why would I be? There's no reason why I should be scared of snakes. But I can see how a lot of people would get a bad impression. It's like spiders. I don't generally like spiders because there's a lot of them out there that I just have no clue whether they're poisonous or not, or venomous or not. So generally, I'm pretty terrified of spiders, especially the little ones with big legs and a big butt. But I handled my first tarantula about 6 months ago, and I really, really liked it. I had a good time. How did someone educate me about how they're not dangerous? You just got to know which ones are and aren't. Same thing with snakes. So there are a lot of beginner snakes out there. Before you go run and just buy one, do your research, understand their behaviors, and when it's a good time or a bad time to do certain things. But yeah, guys, to all you new people, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're always here to help and encourage others to participate in this hobby. One thing I will say is, if you do decide to purchase a snake, definitely, like I said, do your research. Know what the animal needs, as far as heating, water, feeding schedules, temperament, all that good stuff. So all in all, ball python, I would strongly recommend that to anybody. The max they get as females is about 5, sometimes 6 feet, which is super rare. The males generally get about 4 to 5 feet. They eat typically once a week, starting anywhere from baby mice, baby rats, all the way up to adult mice, adult rats. But with the ball python, once they get older, you got to get them off mice and get them over to rats, or you got to feed them a ton of mice. But awesome beginner snake. So if anyone's looking to kind of get over their fears, this is a good snake to start with. As always, guys, Anthony from GranddaddyHerps. Hope I answered a lot of questions to a lot of people out there. Take care and have a good one.